The other day we were discussing on that, you recall.
Yes, I count some HTML.
Okay. See, as we know, HTML is a hypertext markup language using which we create web pages. Web pages are nothing but user interface for the web applications. So with the help of that, you can actually show content to the users in a web browser. So to show content to the user in the web browser, we require actually HTML. So HTML is a domain specific language. We call it as a domain specific language. Okay, so for example, you take languages like Java, C, they are general purpose languages, whereas HTML is domain specific language only to render the content in the web browser. We use it. Using HTTP protocol, it works. Whenever you want to see a web page, you get connected to server by sending a HTTP request. You give there actually a URL, URI, or URN. We use three words with this. One is URL, other one is URN, and one more is URI. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Then URN is nothing but Uniform Resource Name, and URI is going to be Uniform Resource Identifier. Okay, so URL meaning is what some website name can be a URL. URN stands for a name, unique name you have to have for different objects which you want to show in the browser. And URI is going to be URL plus URN. Together we call it as Uniform Resource Identifier. Okay, URL plus URN is going to be URI. Suppose you are seeing a web page. First of all, website address is going to be URL. Then after that, you have the web page name, that is going to be URL. So together, it's going to be URI. We call it as Uniform Resource Identifier. With the help of that, we access actually the content from the web pages. Okay. So with the help of HTML, we show the content. And as far as HTML is concerned, we have like this. First of all, you have a header tag. Then similarly, you have a closing tag this way. Then here, so in between this, we have two different parts. One is head, other one is closing head. Here we have body, and in this body, whatever HTML content you want to show, you can show in this. Like this, normally we make a HTML page. You need to start with the HTML element, and you are going to close this. So HTML element contains opening as well as closing tags. So HTML element is containing here HTML tag, starting tag, and this is here a closing tag. In between these two, you form the HTML document. You are going to form in between these two the HTML document. So here it is going to be HTML starting tag, HTML closing tag. Similarly, you have a head tag, and here also it's going to be head tag. Okay, you have a body, and here also it's going to be body. In between this, you show the content. Whatever content you want to show in HTML pages, you are going to put in this. Okay, so the head contains different information like meta tags you have in that. Meta tags are basically meant for SEO, search engine optimization purpose. For that purpose we use. Similarly, in that, whenever you have meta tags, with the help of that, the search engines like Google bots, they are going to be indexing your page in their records. Okay, for search engine, we use here meta tag. Similarly, we use other tags like link tags we use, script tags we use, style tags we use. With the help of style tags, we can be defining CSS style, and with the help of the script tag, you are going to write JavaScript. See, your training is focused on AngularJS. It's going to focus mostly on the AngularJS. So AngularJS is a front-end development tool. Here using MVC, Model View Controller Architecture, we develop the HTML pages UI. So using the AngularJS AJAX call, we get connected to server. It can be some server code. It can be Java code. It can be .NET code. It can be anything. So we get connected to server. So from server, we are going to be retrieving data. Okay. So server-side code is different, AngularJS is different. AngularJS purely front-end. It's going to be just front-end. From front-end, you are going to be getting connected. Okay, it can be getting connected to any server side. It can be a web service, it can be a RESTful service, it can be a servlet. So whatever it may be a struts based, whatever it is, we can get connected using actually here AngularJS Ajax. With the help of that, we get connected to server. So from server, we are going to be fetching content and we render in the here web page. So ultimately, it's going to be AngularJS. It's going to be single page applications. But AngularJS, further we use JavaScript. So using JavaScript, we actually develop AngularJS based applications, and mostly it is going to be single page applications. In the same page, you have multiple views and routing concept. With that, we can be switching among these different views. So they are going to be with the AngularJS. But to work with AngularJS, as I told you, you need to know about JavaScript. Without that, you cannot do really much. So you have to know about JavaScript, then you can comfortably work with the AngularJS. Because AngularJS is based on actually JavaScript objects. What is a JavaScript object? JavaScript object is different from Java object. Java objects are totally object oriented, but JavaScript objects are going to be similar. They also follow object orientation, but in a different way. Okay, in a different way, here we implement the object orientation. It's not like C# code, or it's not like Java code. So it is slightly different. So that we implement with the help of the AngularJS, and mostly we develop single page applications. Okay, so here when you look at the HTML page, you have like this HTML starting tag, ending tag, you have a head and head here, body and body like this you have here, and in the head you write actually different other tags. You can write something like style followed by type equal to, here it is text/CSS. So this can be a cascading style sheet. You can define here various styles. You can define different types of styles in that. Similarly, you can go with the script tag. In the case of script, again this type equal to, it is text/JavaScript. Text/JavaScript you can put this way, and here you can close script. You are going to close script tag like this. So therefore you have here style tag as well as script tag. With this you are going to do it. You have a style tag and you have a script tag. With that you are going to do this particular thing. Here you define the style, and here you are going to be defining the script. You are going to define script in this. This is going to be style and this is going to be script. In these ways you are going to develop this. Okay, so here you write the JavaScript code. Here you are going to be defining style. Styles we apply for the HTML content, whatever is coming in the body. So to those elements you are going to be applying various styles. You have different types of styles, like you can show font with bigger size, you can show some background color, you can have foreground color. Similarly, you have a CSS box model, and whenever you show some content, around the content you may be having certain margins, you may be having a border. Similarly, you may be having some kind of padding to the left, or to the top, to the right, in the bottom. So that way you are going to be styling the elements with the help of the style here. Style type equal to text/CSS and style, and here script type equal to text/JavaScript and script. So here we write style. That style we are going to apply to the elements of the HTML. And as far as styling is concerned, we have in 3 different ways styles are possible. One is inline style. The next thing is internal style. One more thing is going to be external styles. Inline style meaning is along with the element itself, we define the style. What style you want to apply for element, you define within the element itself. Whenever you create an element, at that time itself you assign style. It's called an inline style. So internal meaning is here in the style type text/CSS, in between these two tags you can be defining styles. So those styles you are going to use with the elements. That's called an internal. In a web page, when more than one element has to use same style, in such cases we define in the style. Similarly, we have external style sheets. Suppose in your website more than one page is using same kind of style, in such cases you can define the external style sheets, then you can refer here. So in 3 different ways you can be using the styles. Internal style, then inline style, internal style, external style, And one more thing is default style. When you don't specify any style, automatically default style gets applied. Default style will be getting applied when you don't specify any particular style to that. So this way what happens, you have actually styles. You can define styles, inline style, internal style, as well as external style. So using script also, you can define functions, JavaScript functions, they can be inline. Along with the element itself you can do. Similarly, within the script block you can be defining your own functions, you are going to invoke them in response to, say, various events which happen on the HTML elements. Or else you write a script file, external JS file, that you can be referring in the current page. So in three different ways also you can write the JavaScript code. One is what? Inline JavaScript code. Other one is internal. In the case of internal, you are going to write between the starting and closing tags of script. Similarly, you can be going with the external style, external JavaScript. So in such cases, you create a different JavaScript file. So that file you are going to refer in the current HTML page. Okay, so these two are going to be quite important. Now let us come to body. So in the case of body, I show you here how to use inline style first of all. So I put here style equal to, I want to set some background color. I put like here background color like this. Background color is going to be here red. I want to put a red background color. Now for the body, it is going to be red color, red color background. You are going to get like that. So let me save this in the pages called as HTML samples. So in this, I am going to put it. And I would like to save this as .html. This is what one.html I make like this. You can give an extension as HTML or it can be HTML. Now if you go to the concerned folder, HTML pages, you can find here first .html. Now this can be rendered. I can open using Chrome browser. Already have HTML pages, HTML samples, sorry. So here, one we have, I'm opening, you can see the color like this. If you open this code, color I kept as red, so because of that, in the red color, it is appearing for us. You can see the red color. So like this is called as here inline style. Along with the element itself, I have defined the style, this we can call as inline style. So this is going to be inline style. Now similarly, I do with the internal style. So the styles you can define using, the styles can be, one is, this is for comments. So style CSS comments are with this. You have a slash, star, then you have a closing star and slash, in between them you can write comments. You can write comments. Comments are going to be very important. First of all, write here element based style. Element based style I am going to define. This is going to be element based style. And here I just use element name itself. Element name is what exactly? Paragraph is the element name. For paragraph I am going to be defining a style here. So for paragraph I am going to define here a style. First thing is width. Width I want to use some 300 px. 300 pixels width is required. Now here margin I use left. I want to use some left side margin. It is going to be say some 10 px. It should not be touching in the left side. I want to go with margin 10 px. Then I use here padding. So in the case of padding, I would like to go with actually 10 px. Around the content, 10 pixels are required. To the left, onto the top, to the right, in the bottom, I would like to add 10 pixel space. So this is what exactly a paragraph. And see, whenever content is actually not fitting in the given paragraph, it should be scrolling. Since I haven't specified any height, so whatever content you are putting, automatically it's going to be using. But suppose I specify certain height, here there can be problem. So height I specify, then I may say only some 200 px. Up to a height of 200 px, it's going to be displayed. Now next thing is, here I can say overflow. Whenever content is not fitting in that, I can write overflow. This one is scroll. So it is going to be adding scroll bars. Now inside this, if I go with a paragraph, I put a paragraph here, automatically to this paragraph it gets applied. This is going to be getting applied to this. So like this, I have defined a style. This is called as element based style. Whatever paragraph you have, automatically the style will be taken. It's going to take that particular style. And here I want to go with 4 color. This must be in white color. In white color, I would like to show the paragraph. Now if you render this particular page, what happens is, it's going to show paragraph but without any text. You can see here, you are seeing here with some kind of border it is coming up. These are nothing but scroll bars. Here in this area, text can be rendered. You can render text. Once again, if you use paragraph, one more, it's going to be getting added for us. So take another paragraph also, even this will be added. And paragraphs are going to be here, they are actually block level. They are going to be block level. That means what? Whenever you start these elements, automatically they start at new line. They are going to be getting started at new line. They are not side by side. They are going to be getting added here in this as a new line every time. Okay. Let us once again render and see what will happen with this. See, here you have one paragraph, here you have another paragraph. Though you have a lot of space here, still they are using actually entire space. You see here, they are using entire space here. Though you specified width and height, what is happening here? A paragraph is starting with the new element here, with new line element. That means in the next line only it is coming up. So these are called as here block level elements. You can have 2 types of elements. One is block level, other one is inline elements. And this is what, it's a container element. It can contain other content inside this. So here you have a paragraph, it's coming up this way. Now when you start typing some text, see, this is a paragraph. Like this, I am typing it, number of times I paste it. I am going to paste it. So what happens, see, with this. So many lines of text, it's going to be containing here in this. So how this renders, you can see. If you come to web browser now, so if you come to web browser, try to render this, here it's going to show automatically. Text box is getting added, the scroll bar is getting added for this. You can see here, scroll bar is getting added. Only you have here vertical scroll bar, there is no horizontal scroll bar because we specified certain width. So whenever here, whenever maximum number of characters are entered as per width, automatically the text is going to be getting wrapped up. That means you go into next line, in the next line it will be getting displayed. So like this, scroll bar is added for this. Whenever content is not fitting in the given region, in the given area, so automatically it's going into next line. So like this, here you have the style for paragraph. And this is what element based style. If I put for other element also, same thing happens. So we are using here same style for both the elements. So we are using for both elements same kind of style. This is called as defining a style based on element. This is what exactly element based style. You can see same content is appearing in both the paragraphs here, and you have same kind of style for both of them. This is what exactly element based style. With element name itself we define style. You can see in the CSS on the top. When you look at the CSS on the top, you can see here element name. Paragraph P is paragraph followed by we define style. Width is 300 px, margin left is 10 px, padding is 10 px, height is 200 px, overflow is going to be scrolling, then color is going to be white. Like this, we have a paragraph style, and this is called as inline style, internal style. This is called as internal style using here the style tag we are defining. But as far as body style, background color, red is concerned, this is called as inline style. So along with the element itself we are defining style, But for this what it's called as internal style, and this is inline style, and this is going to be internal style. So in the case of internal style, within the same document you define the style. So we apply a style automatically for these two paragraph elements because we used here the element name itself. This is called as element based styling. So one type of styling is what here? Element based. Next one is going to be CSS class based styling. So in such cases you can define actually the style name using dot. I put something like this, new style, something like this. I am going to be defining here. This is called as a new style, and here I am going to be defining the style. This is going to be what exactly? A new style I am going to define. I am defining a new style in this. So I write here font size. So font size, it is 12 pt I put. 12 points I am going to put for this. Okay. Then similarly, I want to do like here color, background color. I want to use here. This is black. With black background, I want to have this. Color, here it is. Color is going to be white. So this way, I want to make here a new style. I am going to make here a new style. This style I would like to apply. Similarly, I use one more thing called as text transform. Okay, text transform is going to be here upper. So text transform is going to be here uppercase. So like this, I am trying to define a new style. So it's going to be a new style. Automatically, whatever you type should come into uppercase letters. So this way, I am going to be transforming the text also. Whether it is uppercase or upper, I need to check once again. But here font size is going to be 12 points. Background color is black here. Color is going to be white. Text transform. Now when I come to this, here I am going to define different input elements. So using div, I am going to define this. This is going to be closing div. And here inside this, I type input, type equal to text, then here I use class. This time I don't use style because existing class I would like to use. Here I write new style. I can type here new style, then I put here max length. I can be using here max length. Okay. So that we can use later on. This is going to be what exactly? Input. Type equal to text. Style is what here? New style. In the same way, one more div also defined. I can show one more type of character in this. But this time I don't use new style. I just omit the class. And this is going to be a different way in such cases. Now here, just once again, let me render this to you and show you how this is going to be shown. In the bottom you can see, the first one is what here? You have a text box with black color background, and the other one is having here white color background. So when you type, automatically it's taking in black, but this one if you take, when you type, it's going to be coming with a white color with bigger font. So this is what class based style. I define the class and apply it with the input. So input element, that is, it's nothing but input type equal to text, using which I have defined this element here. I have applied style for the input element here. So font size is increasing here, background color is getting changed. Similarly, what is happening in this forecolor is going to be white, font size 12 point is taken, with that it's rendering. But whenever you look at this second input text box, here it is taking the default style. So default style is going to be white background and black forecolor. So with that, it is going to be getting rendered. So what is happening in this? It is actually having a black color background and white foreground, font size 12 point, and this style is getting applied from the defined new style. So look at this, the style is what exactly? Not new style, that name I am giving here. So this is nothing but a class based styling. With more than one element, you can use same style. If you want to use same style with more than one element, you can use this. So define once, you can apply with number of elements. This is called as here internal style. This is what inline style, and this is what internal style. So the internal style is based on what exactly class, and this style is based on what element. Based on the element we define this, and based on the class we defined it. So all the paragraphs they are going to be taking this, unless you go with any another style. So P we have written here. If you don't specify any style for the paragraph elements, automatically it can be taken. Now suppose you have second paragraph. In the case of second paragraph, I can define some another style. See, I can be defining another style here. So what I do, I go with this. I go with this here. Then once again, I am going to be defining. I call this as dot para. I simply define this dot para. I am going to define this as dot para. This is going to be a new style. So width I want to make as 400 px. Okay, margin left 10 px, adding 10 px I use. Then this 200 px height I am using. Color should be here black. I want to go with the black color as far as this paragraph is concerned. So as far as this paragraph is concerned, I want to show in the black color here. Overflow is going to be scroll. So width is going to be here 400 px. Like this, I want to apply this para. If you come to this here, you can write class equal to para. Like this, you can specify here. You can specify like this a new style for the second paragraph. First paragraph is going to be using this. The color is going to be black. So with black color letters, this appears. But as far as this para is concerned, here it must be appearing. Sorry, first one is white, second one is black. Second one should be appearing in the black color. So render this in the browser. Now you can see the difference between these two. For the first one, the width is only 300, but for this is going to be here 400. And here the text is appearing with the white color, but for this text is appearing in the black color. So for this you have in the black color the required text. So for first one it's going to be in the white color. So like this you can create actually the styles. So styles are based on what exactly? It can be element based style or it can be class based style. We have element based style, we have a class based style. One more type of style is going to be ID based. Every HTML element should have an ID. So if you have an ID, you can identify them with the help of the JavaScript. To identify an element with JavaScript, you require ID. Similarly, if you want to submit to server, so in such cases you should have a name. Every element should be having a name, and whatever elements you want to submit to server, they should be the form tag. Within the form tag only, we need to specify that. So whenever you take any form tag, you have certain methods like form, method equal to post, or method equal to get. Similarly, you can use an action. With the help of action, you can be submitting the form content into server. To the server, you can be submitting. So here, whenever you look at a form tag, it can contain various input elements. So from input elements, you can take values and you can submit to the server. That is called as normally a form tag. Okay. So similarly, here, what happens whenever you have here the elements like div, and similarly for paragraph, here I use it for paragraph. One is what element based style, for other one is class based style, and I can have now an element ID based. So let me go to ID based. Then here I define this way. Span, I can write like this. ID equal to, I put here my span. This is the ID. I have here my span. Then it's going to be getting closed like this. Then I can close the span. Span is here actually inline element. Span is inline element. It's not a block level element. It's going to be inline element. So along with within the same line, this can be appearing. It does not start with a new line always. Whereas paragraph or say div, they are going to be starting at a new line always. But this is not like that. Span will be starting wherever they are. Suppose you have a div in the left side. In the right side, you can have a span. Span is called as actually inline element. It's not going to be starting with a new line. That means every time it is not going to be starting with a new line. So this is what exactly inline element we say. Span is going to be inline element. Now for this span, I define a style. I go to this, then I define a style here. So further, I must use hash. In the case of element based style, you just need to have an element name. Okay. So in the case of class, you need to have a dot para. Similarly, in the case of element based, you should have a hash followed by element name. Element name is here myspan. So myspan is going to be the name of the element. Okay, then here inside this we define it. Myspan we define, then you can specify again background color. So background color, here I would like to show this as yellow. Okay, now similarly color, it is red. Color is going to be red as far as myspan is concerned. So here this, I write like this is red color. Text on yellow background. Okay, like this, try to write. Now when I render this into browser, it's going to be shown with that concerned color. Go to this, I need to save this before that. Fine. Select it, then here, let me open in the browser. It's coming up like this. You can see in the bottom. So yellow background color you have. On top of that, with white red color, this is appearing. So this is called as ID based. Only with one element you can use it. If more than one element if you use, that's wrong. Reason, ID is going to be a unique name for the elements of the HTML. So every element should have a unique ID. You cannot actually use same ID for another element. Of course, if you use in HTML, it will not show any error, but that is wrong. If you are using them with JavaScript, that can be giving few errors. So therefore, every element in the HTML should be having a unique ID. Whenever you create actually different elements on the HTML page, you should be having unique IDs for them. So this is what ID based. You can define styles, a inline style you can define, internal style you can define, or external style you can define. So whenever you go with inline style, I mean straight away you use style, then you apply the style, as we do in the case of body. So for body we are using same thing. We are using here inline style. Okay. So internal style you can define between the style tags. So there you can use a element based style, or you can use a class based style, or it can be a ID based style. So it can be element based, or it can be class based, or it can be ID based. This is what ID based style, and this is here what it is a class based, and this is here exactly what element based. Paragraph is an element. Dot para is going to be class. Dot new style is going to be class. Hash myspan is nothing but myspan is the name of the element. So ID of the element. So this is what ID based style. We define style base here. So element based, class based, and ID based. Okay. So similarly, these styles you can define within the same page, or you can define in an external page that you can refer in the current page. So we can be linking the other page, I mean the other file in which you define CSS with the current page. So it is nothing but external style sheet. You can define external styles. In three different ways you are going to be doing it. One is what? Inline, internal, external, and here as far as styles defining in the internal or say other thing is external file, it can be element based style, it can be class based, or it can be ID based. In three different ways we can be defining the styles. Okay, and in HTML you have two types of elements. One is block level, other one is inline. Block level elements are going to be, for example, say ordered list is a black level. Listing is nothing but definition list, or ordered list, or unordered list, div tag. One more thing is form, and other one is, say, one more thing is going to be paragraph. These are called as actually, block level elements. They always start with the boundary of new line. With new line, they are going to be starting. They can be called as block level. And inline elements are going to be span element, then input boxes, buttons. They can be called as inline elements. And elements can be containing other elements inside that, or they may not be containing anything. For example, take HR tag. HR tag is called as actually non-container tag or non-container element. BR is going to be non-container element. They don't contain any other elements inside that. So they don't have any closing tag. If you use also, there is no point in that. For example, here I want to separate different paragraphs using horizontal ruler. I can type here just HR. I'm going to close like this. Similarly, I want to put here another HR, like this I can put it. So close this way. So here also it is HR tag once again. Horizontal ruler you can have. So this way what is happening, you can actually go with the various tag and HR elements you can use. With the help of that, we can draw horizontal rulers. So this is what here, it is a non-container tag, because you are not having both starting and closing tag. You have only one tag, at the end you put a slash. This is called as a non-container tag. This can be called as non-container tag. Similarly, break you have. With the help of break, what happens? You are going to jump into next line. So here, pressing enter key does not make any sense. You need to use BR. With the help of BR only, you can move into next line. So that's what exactly BR tag we say. BR stands for break tag. Okay. Srinivas, any questions?
Hello.
Hello, Srinivas. Any questions?
Yeah. Up to now, just understand. No questions. But these all the things are new to me. I want to practice in.
Yes, you need to practice all this.
Can you briefly tell this how many types of, how many types of tags and how many types of this?
See, tags are basically container tags and non-container tags. For example, take paragraph is a container tag. Okay, div is going to be division. It's a container tag. Ordered list is a container tag. Definition list is a container tag, because they can contain other HTML elements inside them. They are going to be containing other HTML elements inside them. For example, look at this HTML. Please interact, Srinivas. Try to interact, please. Okay, so instead of one way, you can interact. For example, take HTML. HTML is containing other tags inside that. It has a head tag. So that means what? It's a container tag. Okay. So similarly, you look at body. Body is containing other tags inside that. It's containing HR tag. It's containing paragraph tag. Okay. So it's containing div tag. So this is called as here a container tag. Further in the paragraph, you can be adding another thing. Okay. So further in the div, you can be adding more HTML content. Such things are called as container tags. They can be containing other elements. In contrast to that, you have here HR tag. You see here, somewhere I am typing HR. So this is not containing any other elements inside that. You see here, we don't have any other elements inside that. So this is what exactly a non-container tag. We don't have any closing. There is not even any other content. Neither you have text content or HTML content. If you look at HR, it's going to be drawing simply a horizontal line. It does not contain any text, or it's not containing any image, or it's not containing any other say HTML tags. So therefore this is called as a non-container tag. This is non-container tag. HR is non-container. Similarly, you have a break tag BR. So with the help of BR, what happens? You force the next element to come in the next line. I have a span here. One more span also I want to put. But before that, I put once again one more span in this. What happens? See, I have a span here. I'm going to put here another span also. Okay. When I render it side by side, they are going to be appearing for us. What happens here? Side by side, these two are appearing. This is red color text on yellow background. This is red color text on yellow background. Like this is appearing. Now here what I do? I just put a style. So my span is having this kind of yellow color background and color red. I just want to go with padding. Padding right side. I just go with the padding right here. So padding right, I just want to put here 20 pixels. Now when I render this in the browser, there should be some gap here. Okay, so you have a space here, but there is no gap in it. You are not getting any gap because the padding with padding you are going to have spaces. Even for those spaces also, the yellow color appears. Yellow color is going to be appearing with that. Now suppose if I put a BR, the next, this is red color text on yellow background will be appearing in the next line. So I go to that, then here between these two span elements, I just put here a new tag called as BR tag, like this I put. So with that it appears in the next line. Come to this, then just render. So what is happening here? It's coming in the next line. You can see how this is appearing. It's coming in the next line here. So with the help of BR, we are going to be breaking elements into more than one line. So here with BR tag, we can advance the next element to appear in the next line. Next line meaning is what? It's going to be starting with new line here. With the new line, it's getting started. So like this, here the BR is going to be working. BR is working, but we go into next line. Yes, Srinivas?
Here define as a right for before BR, you define as a right. It just give a small gap. If you want to come to far right, I mean extreme right, so
Yes.
what you have to do here?
So extreme right for this span element.
Yeah, the second my span.
Okay. Then here go with the style here. Define a style. Style equal to, you put here. This is style equal to here float right. You need to use like that. You should be floating it right. Float right. Same colors are going to be getting applied. This is a new property. If you look at this, background color yellow, color is red, padding right 20px. This is fine. Okay, but here I have added new style called as float right. It's going to be shown in the right side. Now let me come to this and show you. You can see where this is appearing now.
Okay.
So it's coming in the right side.
Yes.
So a lot you need to practice with all these things because this is the work of designers normally. For their developing, you cannot do these things. But if you start working on these, you become actually a designer rather than becoming developer. So you should know. You should not know. I mean, even if you know, you should not reveal that you know much about the CSS. Remember this. Otherwise, you'll be made as designer. If you become designer, you lose the programming background totally. Getting my point, Srinivas?
Yes, yes.
So programmer job is high profile job, designer job is low profile job.
Yes.
So we should not lose it. Something like in government offices, what happens exactly? Not these days, because everywhere they made actually IT based. Suppose senior officer is there, under him some another senior officer may be there. So if the senior officer is on the top, if the person comes to know about his immediate subordinate, that is good with MS Word. So every time clerical work will be given to that officer only because the government officers normally don't believe in the clerks because they commit so many spelling mistakes. They don't have good English knowledge. So if the senior officer is exposed to that, I mean like he knows good English and he knows good word, he has good practice with word, in such cases he will be made as a data entry operator. So we need to be careful with this. Even if you know much about CSS, never show all that. Reason is you become designer. They force you to become designer. So we should know, but we should not be knowing much deeper inside this. Otherwise, we are made as designers. That should not happen. Okay. Normally, this is the work of the designers. So people who work with designing, they have to work with these, even with HTML. But being developers, we have to know all those things. Our focus must be with the AngularJS. UI meaning is UI development you are doing, not UI designing. UI development is different, UI designing is different. For UI designing, you need to know about Photoshop and you have to know about certain other tools like GIMP. With the help of that, normally you design it. Okay, and you need to have some aesthetic sense. That means some kind of creativity. So related to colors, related to fonts, you need to have that. When you try to focus on that, you lose your programming background. So therefore, be careful with the CSS designing. But just I am showing here. So using float, you can float it right side. You can use float left, float right. So float center, like this you can be using. With the help of that, you can be floating elements either in the left or in the right or in the center. They can be shown. So here this is what we define styles in 3 different ways. Element based style. Then other thing is here class based style. One more thing is going to be ID based style. All these are what inline styles. Understood difference between these three was inline, internal, and one more thing is element based style, class based style, and ID based style. Just discuss on that, please.
I think we didn't explain about externals.
external. We need to create external style sheet file that we need to refer simply in the head tag. We'll discuss about that. Okay. So both JavaScript as well as CSS, they are going to be working together. At one time only we do that. But this is what defining style internally. So, I mean, in the case of external style sheet, you create a separate CSS file. That CSS file you are going to be referring in the current file. That also we can do.
Okay. I have a doubt. If you are writing all these classes in only one page, it's possible to write other notepad. Then you can export.
That's what I'm saying. That is nothing but external style sheet.
Oh. Okay.
You are writing all the styles in some other file that you are going to be referring in the current page.
That is under the external page.
Yes, external, because this is a HTML page. So in the HTML page, if you are using these styles only in the current page, it's better to write internal. Okay, yes. But same styles, if you want to use it more than one page, in such cases, you need to put in the external file.
Okay.
Getting my point? That also makes actually, things, they become things, with that you can make them lightweight. Because styles you can download once. Whenever page is getting downloaded, if you download styles, it is going to be really time-consuming process, unnecessary loading again and again. So instead of that, style you can download once. After that, pages can be simply downloaded. So if you keep in the external style, suppose more than one page is using same style sheet. So whenever first time you request a page, browser is going to be downloading that concerned CSS file. Okay. So subsequently, if you go to another page, only the page will be downloaded instead of downloading again the same CSS file. That you can optimize with browser. Understood my point?
Yes, yes.
So whenever you are viewing web page, what happens? Whatever CSS is there, whatever JavaScript is there, whatever whatever actually content is there, all this will be downloaded whenever you see a web page. There can be number of HTTP requests. Okay. Yes. So whenever you go with a new page, if you go with the internal CSS, along with the page CSS has to be downloaded. But instead of that, if you make external style sheet, what happens with that? First time when you visit a page, along with that page, the style sheets will be downloaded. Then after that, subsequent pages visiting, if they are using same style sheets, then they need not be downloaded. Already download is available in the browser. Simply browser can refer those. Getting my point here?
Yes, yes.
So that way you can be optimizing. So with that, performance can be improving. Even we should not ignore even simple point also, because even for simple point also there is no point in wasting time here. So for downloading it takes some milliseconds. Why to waste that? So that way you can optimize by using external style sheets. So with internal style sheets, what happens? Along with the page, always you need to download the style here. CSS every time you need to download. So therefore here, whenever you are using styles in the same page, do with the internal styles. Okay. And if you are using only with one element, you can do with inline style. If you look at this, it's going to be inline. With the body, you can see body style equal to background color red. Similarly, but one more thing also you use it. If you come to this span, IDs, my span, style float right. So it is using extra style also. It's inline style here, float right. Already we have a style for the span. Background color, padding right. Along with that, we are adding one more style also. It's called as here float right. So content will be shown in the right side. So all these are actually
two styles at a time, am I right?
You cannot use two styles. I mean, you cannot assign like class. Either you can use, here this style is getting applied, no change with that style. Extra feature we are adding in this. If you look at the two elements here, for the first one, yellow color, background color is yellow, color is red, right margin is 20 px. That's coming. Along with that, what is happening? Some extra style is getting applied. If you look at this, some extra style is getting applied. See, click on this here. Now here, sorry, this is one, this is a file. Look at this. Both of them have same foreground color, background color, even these two. But only another property extra added is what? Float right.
Float right.
That means what same style, whatever you have for this, it's getting applied here. Apart from that, some extra, what's happening here, some extra style, one more property is added. It's nothing but float right side. It's getting floated in the right side. Like this, here it is working. That means extra property we added in this. Simply some extra property, it's nothing but float right is added here. And one more point you see, for both the elements I am using same ID, we should not use normally like this. Okay, span ID is my span, ID is my span. I should not use here same ID for more than one element. This is wrong actually. If you use something like this is going to be wrong. If you remove here ID my span, what happens, see, you cannot have the same background foreground color. You can have different background foreground color now in this. So
default
save
background.
it. Yes, only the float point appears here. Default is going to be taken here. You see here, default only taken there. So this is the red color text on yellow background. Like this, it's coming with the black color, but getting moved to the right side. So this way, what is happening? Here they are working. For this, there is no only one style, inline style. Internal style, whatever we use it is not getting applied here because that's ID based only with one element I should use. But I try to use with more than one element. Doing like that is wrong. It's in fact wrong actually because no two elements should have same ID.
I think what is the wrong if it is used for both, because it will be, I mean,
see, it's something like this. In the Java, you have more than one variable. Do you give same name for both the variables?
no, you have different variables.
You cannot give. Same thing this is going to be. See, every element should be unique on the page. Suppose you are entering some content into them, you have to submit to server. So what value do you take in that case?
Sorry?
See, suppose you have here two elements, both are span only. From the span, you want to manipulate some content. Okay, you want to manipulate some content. Not in the both, only in the one you need to manipulate. So if you want to manipulate from that, if you use same ID, from what element it's going to be taking element content?
It will be either in both or.
From both, I should not take. Only from one I should take.
That is a problem to use.
That's a problem because that's going to be a problem. That's why we should avoid. So this can be a problem in the HTML5. If you try to use same ID for more than one element, it's a problem with the HTML5, but not with HTML4. Because HTML4 is not a full-fledged application, but HTML5 will be going to be a full-fledged application. It shows in that case it has an error.
Okay.
So this is, if you use same ID for more than one element, it's going to be a problem because here we are not processing any form. Neither we are submitting to server, nor with JavaScript we are doing something here. So because of that, there was no problem. But if you try to manipulate the data in the same using JavaScript, it can be a problem there. Now let me show you how it can be a problem. Here I put same ID. ID is going to be my span. I put same ID here. What will happen, see, in such cases? And here I show this way. This is a new span. New span element. I put something like this. It's going to be new span element like this, and using JavaScript now I would like to do something. So here I put BR. Then here I use a button, input, type is button, then ID is my BTN. Some ID I put here, my BTN. Then here on click, this is going to be certain events, on click equal to, here manipulate, span. This is going to be the name of the function we are going to use. And here I should have a value on the button. So value on that manipulate. Span. Like this I put. Then I close. Okay, this is input type equal to, sorry. We should write here value equal to manipulate span like this. I close this way. First of all, I just render this. How this looks. See, we have a button in the bottom, but no code is written so far. So manipulate button. I should write now the code for that. I should define a function. The function name is what here? Manipulate span. So for that, I should be using script. Function. Okay. So it is manipulate span is the name of the function. Then inside the function, I should write it. Right here, var. Okay. Var txt document dot get element by id. I should give the ID name. ID name is here my span. Then dot is inner text. Like this, I'm going to get. Now alert followed by here txt. This displays some dialog box. Now try to run this. When you click on this is red color text on yellow background. So suppose if I want to go with this is a new span element. It never shows that. Okay, it's going to show only this one. It's not going to be showing this content for us. Understood? Yes. So this can be a problem. Therefore, you should have unique IDs in that. When you have unique ID, manipulation of content can become easy for us. Okay. So you need to practice little bit with the HTML. What are the different types of HTML tags are available? You need to identify. So further we discuss tomorrow with HTML. I have some pre-recorded videos. If you go through them, that would be really better.
Okay. So that, I want to all this, course detail. I didn't get any course detail from you because I want to.
In AngularJS already I shared with Ganesh.
No, I didn't receive any course detail.
No, I have shared with you.
I will ask him.
Yes. Okay, Srinivas. Maybe tomorrow. I'll be sharing videos with Ganesh. He's going to share with you.
Okay, sure.
Just go through them. HTML. Are you doing any full-time job now, Srinivas?
No. I just a marketing. I want searching job.
Okay. So you have some time. Therefore, you can go through those videos.
Yeah, I have enough time. If you send any pre-recording video, I will go through.
Yes, I'll send.
Hello. Hello.